2021 was a year of highs and lows, of highly anticipated games being delayed and big names having troubled releases. Many titles like Biomutant may have done well in sales despite poor launches, recouping development costs in the process, while better games fell by the wayside, performing less admirably than we would have liked. Of course, you also have the outright terrible games that simply bombed. Let's take a look at some of the most commercially underwhelming titles of this year, from the clear-cut flops to the more middling reactions. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. Much has been said about Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, from its dull combat and story to the multitude of bugs. Even if it didn't have a huge marketing push leading up to release, it was receiving more than its fair share of hype. Not to mention that the Dark Alliance and Dungeons & Dragons names had recognition. Predictably though, its sales were nothing to write home about. It debuted in 23rd place on GfK Chart Track's UK box charts, but didn't even receive a mention in the NPD Group's June 2021 report, failing to even crack the top 20. Whatever the deal was made for its Xbox Game Pass release may have helped recoup some revenue, but the sheer lack of sales data from publisher Wizards of the Coast seemingly points to it wanting to forget about this disaster as much as everyone else did. Balan Wonderworld. Balan Wonderworld being a bad game, or at least one with potential that had a metric ton of poorly executed ideas, bugs and issues, not exactly the biggest secret in the world. It seemed destined from the outset to sell poorly, though how poorly was really anyone's guess. Lo and behold, within its first week on sale in Japan, it sold less than 2,100 copies. Keep in mind that this is a Square Enix published title with one of the creators of Sonic the Hedgehog at the helm. The game's quality may have been reflected in the poor sales, but by virtue of the names working on it, it's still shocking. Following the game's release, Naka would resign from Square Enix and seemingly retire. Deathloop. Arcane Leon's Deathloop is a very interesting case. In the NPD Group's September 2021 report, it debuted in 6th place, and along with Tales of Arise, it helped set a record in consumer spending for the month in US history. Though it debuted first in GfK Chart Track's UK retail charts, games industry's Christopher Drang noted that its boxed sales are the lowest for an Arcane game so far, being slightly behind Prey. Drang noted that it may have done well in terms of download figures, but that said information wasn't available. A quick peek at Steam Spy indicates 200 to 500,000 players, so it's not the most precise range. Concurrent players, meanwhile, have peaked at 20,000 in its lifetime. Overall, Deathloop may not have done terribly within the context of other flops, but considering the expectations on it, development time and the sheer number of critical accolades, it does seem to be lagging behind. No More Heroes 3. You have to admire the boldness of Grasshopper manufacturer and Suda51 en route to No More Heroes 3's launch, using the mixed reception for Travis Strikes Again to market it. That's not taking into account the hurdles that development went through due to recent events, with its 2020 release pushed to August 2021. Unfortunately, either due to little interest in the IP, poor technical performance on Switch, or being part of a relatively niche franchise, No More Heroes 3 just didn't have the biggest impact sales-wise. It debuted in 16th place in the UK physical retail charts, and in Japan, it sold a measly 7,900 units in its first week. As such, Grasshopper is moving on. Suda51 called it the conclusion to Travis's story, and the company has since been acquired by NetEase. Chicory, A Colourful Tale. It's a shame when well-designed and emotionally involved titles, whether big budget or indie, don't get the recognition they deserve. In Chicory, A Colourful Tale's case, it's even more disappointing, given how its artistic gameplay tied into its mental health themes to create an incredible experience. PS4 and PS5 sales are currently unknown, but on PC, Steam Spy noted a maximum of 20,000 estimated owners, and again, actual numbers could be much less. Maybe it got lost in the June shuffle, especially with E3 2021 going on, and other major releases like Guilty Gear Strive, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and Scarlet Nexus releasing. But this is a title that definitely needs more love. Neo: The World Ends With You. Several years ago, it seemed near impossible that Square Enix would ever remake Final Fantasy VII or deliver a sequel to The World Ends With You. The latter was even more frustrating because it received numerous ports and teasers that never amounted to anything. Fast forward to 2021, and we have Neo: The World Ends With You, which is not only a bigger game, but features fully 3D visuals, a revamped combat system, and some truly excellent music. Sadly, its sales were underwhelming. In Japan, it sold a total of 28,047 units in its first week, and ranked 16th in the NPD Group's July 2021 data. Though Square Enix didn't provide any sales data, President Yosuke Matsuda confirmed that it didn't meet sales expectations. Chalk it up to little interest or not enough marketing, but Rindo and the Wicked Twisters definitely deserve better. Scarlet Nexus. Another weird release in terms of sales is Bandai Namco's Scarlet Nexus. It was the 5th best-selling game in the United States for June 2021 as per the NPD Group. However, it sold 31,168 physical copies in Japan for its debut week. In the UK physical sales charts, it debuted in 8th place, which seems good, but sales dropped by 62%, causing it to plummet to 27th place in just a week. While Bandai Namco hasn't explicitly revealed sales figures, in its Q1 fiscal year results ending June 30th, 2021, it expected the title to reach 1 million sales by March 31st, 2022. Whether that's a good thing or not, especially considering the game's marketing and scope, is up to you to decide. Call of Duty Vanguard. One can always count on franchises like FIFA, Madden, NBA 2K, and Call of Duty to reign over the sales charts. However, that's not quite the case for Call of Duty Vanguard. It debuted in first place for the UK, being the second biggest launch of the year. But physical and digital sales were down by 26% and 44% respectively over last year's title. Sources speaking to VGC later revealed that it was the lowest performing Call of Duty title in years for the UK. Yes, it performed even worse than Call of Duty Ghosts and Infinite Warfare. We'll have to wait and see for the NPD Group's November 2021 data to know how US sales shake out. But Activision not screaming from the rooftops about the sales, even with its own ongoing controversies, and a free multiplayer weekend just 2 weeks after release, don't exactly paint the prettiest picture. And that brings us to the end of the video. A quick request before we conclude though. We upload new videos every single day, and if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Also, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.